This is the plaintiff, Ashley. She says the drunk is a skunk defendant scratched her brand new Audi Q5 in the parking lot of a bar because he was using the car to hold himself up. The kid really stinks because he thinks he can get away with not paying her the $1,242.60 she's owed. But she's here to teach him a thing or two about life, so she's suing. This is the defendant, Luke. He says he was simply standing by the plaintiff's car, and when she noticed it was scratched, she blamed him. He wasn't leaning on her car, is being blamed for something he didn't do, and there's no way and you know where he's paying her all that money. He's accused of getting a girl hot and bothered.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Okay, Ashley and Luke, you've both asked us not to mention your last names, and we'll respect that. Ashley, you're suing Luke for $1,242.60 in damages to your car plus lost wages and having to pursue this. According to you, he damaged your car, correct?
Correct.
Okay, what happened?
Last summer, well, I should say last winter, December of 2012, I purchased a brand new Audi 2013. Last summer, I was at a tavern bar with my fiance and my friend. And while we were there, we were out, for the evening, having some drinks. I was the sober, dedicated driver for my car.
This is your fiance?
This is my fiance.
And who else?
My friend, close friend, Ian.
Okay.
So we were
How tall are you?
6'6".
Oh my gosh. Go ahead.
So we were at the restaurant. There was a band playing. Luke, who I never knew previous to this day, was seen there heavily intoxicated, had bumped into some friends, knocked over their beers, stepped on my fiance's foot, was really embarrassing for himself.
Okay.
In the bar, he was seen to have completely urinated his pants, soaked through in the crotch and to the behind.
Okay.
We stayed.
Why did the bar continue to serve him? Why wasn't he tossed out?
I don't know.
Okay.
He should have been. He absolutely should have been.
So
But there was a young punk band playing at this small place, and he was just really rowdy. And so the end of the night, around 1:30, we walked out to the car, and I had parked way far away at the other end of the parking lot because it's my brand new car, and I love it. And so we went out there, and there was almost nobody left except for him, who I couldn't believe was leaning on my car with his urine-soaked pants. It was a dirt parking lot. He had fallen in the dirt and was leaning against the car, drunkenly back and forth, hovering against my car. So I asked him to move. And
Wait, what was he doing?
He was leaning against
Just
his
rubbing
car.
his butt against your car?
Because he couldn't stand. He was so
Wait,
drunk.
who was he with?
His friend, Corey.
Oh, he was with you?
Yeah.
Stand up, honey. All right, and what was Corey doing?
Just standing there talking with him.
Oh, they were just chatting right there?
I don't know what they were doing. We were walking out from the bar.
Okay, so then what happens?
So then I take out my phone, and there's a light because it's dark out. So I take the light
Do
on
you
my.
say anything to him? Step away
I
from
asked
my car?
him to move away from the car.
Right.
I said, I hope you didn't scratch it, and I looked, and lo and behold, there's scratches there. So I tried to wipe it off, and they didn't come off. And he was so intoxicated. I asked him if he was going to pay for this, and he didn't answer me because he couldn't coherently speak. His friend, who was much more sober than he was, gave me his phone number.
Gave you his friend's phone number?
Gave me Luke's
phone number.
stand
up for a guy. Okay. Gave you the real one.
And his full name.
Yeah, gave you the real name and the real phone number.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So we thought we'd be able to manage it that way.
And
civilly.
why did that happen? Because 6'6" was standing there?
We were actually getting our stuff from a friend's car, and we were on our way back. And we just so happened to be walking by her car when they were coming out of the bar. Those two started charging at us, and he was drinking, but not too heavily. They started pushing him because he was closest to the car. I was talking to her.
They started pushing him.
They were pushing him. I had my hands full because I was carrying all of our stuff from my friend's car.
What was the point of pushing him? What were they pushing?
Because they saw us near the car, and like she said, they
Get
thought
away,
we
like pushing him to
scratched
get away from the car?
I would say a little bit more aggressively than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How drunk were you?
Not very.
Not very drunk?
No, I
But
was.
a little bit drunk?
I had drinks that evening. Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Are you really?
Yes,
oh my
ma'am.
gosh, you look 12.
Thank you. Okay, so what happened was we were with a third person. He was the dedicated driver that night, and about halfway through the night, he wasn't feeling so well. He decided to leave.
I'd get a different dedicated driver. One
Well-
more dedicated.
He wasn't feeling well all night, so whatever. He left. He put whatever stuff that we had in his car outside of his car where he parked, and just left there. And I told him that was fine.
Are you sure he didn't leave because you guys were so wasted and embarrassing him?
I'm positive.
Did you pee in your pants at the bar?
That is fabricated, Your Honor.
Okay, go on.
When we left, the next thing we were going to do was we were looking for a ride home, calling some of our close friends, relatives, brothers, sisters, to see if somebody wanted to pick us up. Option 2 was
What
just
time was it?
maybe 1 to quarter after, maybe. It was pretty late. And so we were both on our cell phones calling to people that we knew, people that lived in the area. Maybe somebody could
Is that
give us
when
a
you
scoop.
leaned on our car?
I was not leaning on her car. I was the closest.
What is your version of the story? That they walk out and they just grab the nearest person because they
Well, we
think
were-
that
we
there
were
may be
the-
a scratch on a black car? They're thinking that at 1 in the
there was-
morning?
there was some
It's
sort
1
of-
in the morning, it's pitch black outside, they all have a black car, and they just know that if you are walking by their car, you must have scratched it. I mean, that's kind of hard for me to swallow. Give me something I can hang my hat on, right? Because that kind of sounds ridiculous. If all you were doing was standing in the vicinity of her car,
We were the closest
why
people
would
to the
they
car,
wait?
yes.
Yeah, but they didn't see a scratch. They had to take the little pen light and go up to look for a scratch. So they saw something first that made them worry. So what was it? Just your non-drunken behind?
That I'm not quite sure.
Right, because you weren't drunk, you didn't pee on yourself, everything else is fabricated, so it's not that they just assumed you scratched their car. It's
I know.
because all that stuff was fabricated. So what was it then that they saw that made them grab a pen light and go out and try to figure out if you'd scratched their car?
That I'm not quite sure of, Your Honor.
Well, they say it's that you were leaning on it while you were making those cell phone calls.
Well, it's the same kind of thing. Those scratches could have been there prior to that night. There's no way for
They
us to
could
know.
have. She's a little squirrely though, ain't she?
What's that?
She's a little squirrely. You know, she's parking the car at the extreme
Well,
end.
next
She
to this
knows
bar-
every little inch of it. She's kind of...
Next to this bar is a busy takeout pizza place, so I'm sure there was heavy traffic throughout the night there. I'm not convinced.
Show me pictures of the scratches. Did you fall?
No. I didn't have any keys. I didn't have anything that I could possibly scratch a car
What
with.
were you wearing that day?
I was wearing athletic shorts with a $20 bill in it.
Where do you get that he fell?
Oh, because it's a dirt parking lot and there was dirt on his urine-soaked pants.
Okay. Did you two were there?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
tell
we-
me. Go ahead.
We walked out of the bar and we didn't come charging by any means, but we did see 2 people by the car, and we pretty much, see him, just kind of leaning against it. He really was hammered like the whole night, just, drank way too much.
Had he peed on himself? Had you noticed that or not?
Yeah. Yeah, you could just bring 20 people in from the bar that'll say he had urine on both sides. I mean, as far as I know, it's urine. Maybe he spilled the beer, but I don't think anyone
Okay.
saw that.
Go on.
And then we, yelled at him to get off the car, and she went over to check, with her light and whatnot. And there were words exchanged. There was no physical contact, but just,
You didn't happen to take a picture of the urine-soaked shorts, did you?
I don't know that. No, I
would've
didn't.
been great.
I would have loved
would've
to
been
have
great.
done
Yeah.
that, but I
That
didn't.
would've been
I didn't
great.
think of it at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have.
I mean, he admitted to us that he did it, but didn't,
How did he admit to you that he did it?
we have a text saying,
Well,
me see.
I spoke to him on the phone the very next day, and I wish I had recorded that. I didn't, but he openly admitted. He said he knew he did it, and that I was going to get a quote to see how much it cost to fix it.
Right.
And that he
Now
would
you
pay
have a
for it.
text, in the text he doesn't admit he did it, but he says, all I asked you to do was get a quote. I didn't say I was going to pay.
Exactly.
Or some weird
that's
thing
what
like
he put
that.
in. Yeah, going around it somehow in a text. Even
What
though
I don't
he-
understand is, what is the quote for? This isn't body damage. What are they going to do to get those scratches out?
I think that they have to go all the way down, like past the paint, to.
Because the paint is scratched?
it's- I tried to
It's not going to buff right out?
No, we tried
No,
that.
we tried
Yeah.
that, and
Okay.
that did not work.
Yeah.
It's
Alright.
through the paint all the way down to the metal.
It's
below
just
it.
principle. It's a new car, too, it's
Yeah.
not.
How drunk were you?
I maybe had like a beer the whole night. I don't.
Now
like
I know you're
drinking.
lying. That's it. Once you say that, I know you're lying. You're at the place.
Credibility's
How
gone.
old are you?
I'm 21, but
You're 20. Wait, you had to think when I asked you that. What year were you born?
22 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So 21.
Can I say something?
Why did you give him his real name and number?
Because they were calling the phone, so I'm not going to lie to them.
Oh, yeah,
and
because then you're
cause
going to get
more trouble.
your hiney kicked. Right, yeah, no, good move. So your theory was survive tonight and we'll deal with the rest of it later.
Well, I just figured it was the logical thing to do to exchange information instead of trying to run from a situation.
Right, except for that he's taking no responsibility now. And
Nothing to take
I
responsibility
know that
for.
you told, yeah, but you did tell her to get
No,
an
I-
estimate and show it to
No,
you.
I-
I know you
I
did
assume-
because I see the text where you say, I told you to get an estimate. I didn't say I'd pay for it. What's the point of telling her to get an estimate?
I wanted to see what kind of damage she alleged that I created.
So what
Dude.
would have been an acceptable number?
You know, I'm not quite sure. But what I.
But 551 wasn't.
No, that's ludicrous.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is this guy responsible?
Yes.
Why?
Because he asked for the estimate.
Okay, that's a fair point. Asking for the estimate, is that like consciousness of guilt?
Not only that, he was drunk. He doesn't remember everything, but I believe he's guilty.
Well, that's a fair point, but again, he says, I didn't do it. Is asking for the estimate, does that kill him?
Yes.
Because a person would not ask for an estimate, right?
Exactly right.
If they didn't do it. Okay, we're going inside the courtroom.
Let me see the estimate. Did you get any other estimates?
No. This is directly from the Audi dealer.
Right. So why are you suing for $1,242.60 when the estimate's $551.96?
Because I had to miss a day of work.
If you were a brain surgeon and your wages were, $10,000, would a $500 case become a $10,500 case because you can't get lost wages in a situation like this? Can I hear from you? Switch with him, will you?
Thanks. Yeah, I mean,
You remember this night? How much had you had
Yes.
to drink?
I had a handful of beers. We were there
How
all
about
night.
that guy? How much did that guy have to drink?
I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention to
How much did she have
anybody
to
else,
drink?
but nothing.
Nothing at all?
No.
That's good. Okay, so
Just
go on.
responsible. Actually, a designated driver for once.
Okay, for
so
once.
yeah, I mean, we were
You mean
leaving.
for once you had a designated driver, or for once
Well,
she
for-
was?
So actually, yeah. Either way.
Okay.
So yeah, we exited the bar around.
Tell me
last
about him.
call time.
Had you noticed him beforehand or not really?
Yeah, a couple times when he was, because I was hanging around near him and her the whole entire night.
And you guys have been making fun of the fact that he had peed on himself?
No, we noticed that at one point later on, but no, we had very little interaction with him other than when he stepped on my friend Dustin's foot. And we just kind of observed him a little bit here and there. He was definitely staggering drunk throughout the night. And then after it's starting to become closing time, so we exited the bar. Her car was parked far away. We walked down. I saw he was clearly kind of swaying and leaning against the car. And I mentioned to her, like, hopefully you didn't scratch it. And so then as we got closer,
All hell broke
took
loose.
the light out and saw that he did scratch it. And
Okay.
then, yeah, his friend seemed pretty reasonable and wanted to get us his information so we could
Well,
settle it.
why did his friend have to give you the information? He wouldn't give it to you?
He was too hammered to really even be able to formulate thoughts at that point.
Okay.
So.
Why did your friend have to? If you weren't hammered, why didn't you just give him your information?
At the time, they were kind of physically coming at me, and he decided to diffuse the situation with
That
Ashley.
doesn't make any sense. You know, I have lived, right? You do know that. I mean, you may be a
That's
young,
what
tender
happened.
21. Okay,
that's not true
Opie,
either.
but I have been around the block. I am 52. I have been around the block. I do not believe for 1 second that they came over and just started pummeling you with fists, and then he to calm them down. I mean, come on. There's a dialogue. They're like, "What's going on? You scratched my car. Blah blah
Wasn't
blah.
quite like
Give
that.
me your name." You can't just give your name. Why does he have to be persuaded of the wisdom of somebody giving them the name and them calling to verify that that phone's going to ring and that it's a real phone number and name? That happens because you are unable to give your name and number. Maybe either unwilling or unable to give your name and
I
number.
was unwilling.
All right, I'm going to order you. I'm convinced. I'm going to order you to pay the $551.96 plus your court costs. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Both sides, hold on, please.
Well, here come the 21-year-olds. Well, almost 22. Here, step in here. No, you. Come on. What's your take on this outcome here?
Tough break, I learned a lesson.
Like to know what that lesson is, you think?
Don't stay up, don't be out that late.
Really?
Absolutely.
So you've
Only bad things happen after.
You've turned over a new leaf?
I hope so.
All right, we hope so. All right, then.
Hey.
Anything out of you? You mad at him for giving you up?
No, it's not a big deal. We're friends. We'll be friends.
All right, head right down this way.
Thanks so much.
11 o'clock curfew.
Yes, sir.
All right, come on in here. You okay with how this all comes out now?
Yes, definitely.
What do you think they were afraid of the big guy?
I think so.
Or what? Is that what made the whole thing
I think so.
resolve at the scene like that?
I don't know. Maybe then, maybe that night, but
What were you prepared to do if he wouldn't give you the information?
Was I prepared to do it?
Yeah.
We'd just get his number. I mean,
Yeah, how would you do that?
I'm intimidating looking.
All right, Harvey.
Got to tell you, your conduct immediately after the incident and then subsequent to that will be very relevant in deciding who's telling the truth and who's lying.